organization. I'm just going to fill you a little bit about who I am. My name is Rob Johnson, and I'm the owner and creator of the Meetup organization. And I'd like to recognize, before we get started, the hosts of our event, the owner of the Rocket Lounge, Dieter Kondak, and his staff, for giving us the opportunity to have a great place where we can meet up and share information. So thanks
small,
to
you see.
Yeah, it's small. So thanks to Dieter and Natalia for helping us with make this event. And before we get started, I asked Dieter to just tell you a little bit about the Rocket Lounge and what it's about. So Dieter?
I mean, we are, hey my friend, we are a cool co-working space and accelerator and helping startups to get up to speed. And so we have announced our first investment fund, which we are raising in the moment. And then you see we have offices, we have shared offices. We run our first boot camp now. So we have more than 20 startups participating every Thursday. And it's a great, you'll see, we have unbelievable speakers lined up, serial entrepreneurs, some of them $100 million equity exits. So you can still jump in. Every session is independent. I think this week is Thursday is product development and how to make great products. And then the week later is all the financing cap table, how to raise money. So it's very good. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I should the people who have been here, you have heard about the Nakamoto team, IOTA Tangle team from Berlin has been here with 16 people, crashed into one of your events. And I just talked to Robert, he's on a roadshow now. They announced last week in Berlin, big announcement. IOTA is officially a foundation now. They get financed with €100 million from the start. Regina, the chairman and CEO, will come over to visit us here in January. We will sign a big partnership. Nakamoto's on the world tour now, announcing their stuff all over the world. And then in February, the last stop is here in Fort Myers again. So we are real proud and happy that we will work with them in the future beside all our blockchain stuff. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you so much, Dieter. Like later tonight, we'll be talking a little bit about what he just discussed, which is called IOTA Coin. It is on the top 10 list for cryptocurrencies for this month. We are going to go over the top cryptocurrencies. This is by far the amount, small amount of cryptocurrencies in the world right now. There's over 1,300 of them. So we will just be going over the top 10 and then maybe talking about some cryptos that are on the horizon that look like they're going to be something that we should pay attention to. There's some truly exciting things happening in blockchain and cryptocurrency, and you can pretty much guess that by the amount of people that are in this room. Cryptos are just going skyrocketing in value. So the enthusiasm is generating a lot of great energy in our group, and I'm proud to say that our group has got a core group of individuals that have gotten together that are creating an information network together. And if you're interested in doing that and being a part of that, please get with Jeremy, that right behind this camera, and he'll be happy to write your name down if you're interested in meeting up separately as a financial group or interested in our news network. We come from all different types of belief systems in this room, and I think cryptocurrency has the ability to kind of join people together that probably wouldn't have joined forces in the past or might have a different mindset. But crypto kind of brings us all together on one common platform, and it allows us to share ideas and be enthusiastic over the same things. And so I know that coming to these meetings for me has been invaluable. I've met a lot of intelligent people over the time that I've had these meetings since 2014. And it has allowed me to create some business bonds that I probably wouldn't have done so unless I've done this. I was the first business owner in Southwest Florida to accept cryptocurrency at my business, the Butterfly Estates, over on Fowler Street. I simply went on blockchain, printed out a wallet, and then said, I accept Bitcoin. And everyone looked at me like I was crazy, but I listed my business on CoinMap right after that, and lo and behold, a week later, some little guy with crypto shows up and says, I heard you accept Bitcoin. And I was like, heck yeah, you know, I'm your guy. So I didn't know a lot about it. All I knew is it was something new. It was a digital currency. It was the world's first global currency, and that's all it took for me to be on board. I mean, I knew I'd be tapping into a whole new group of people by putting myself out there as somebody that will accept that currency, and lo and behold, that's exactly what happened.
I hope you still have that Bitcoin for that.
I don't mess around with my Bitcoin, sir. I'm a very cautious person. So, tonight's meeting, though, we really wanted to take some time to delve into what is really spawning cryptocurrency. It's not the only thing that's spawning cryptocurrency, but blockchain is a software program that was created in 2009, and it is the reason that cryptocurrencies, most of them exist right now, all except the one you heard about a little bit ago, IOTA, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. In order to get help with these presentations, I've reached out to a couple of our core members here, and Tyler Lelix here is going to give us a presentation on blockchain, so let's welcome Tyler. Yeah.
All right. Can everybody hear me all right? Yeah. All right. So we titled tonight's presentation Blockchain Revolution because that's pretty much exactly what it is. And we're going to kind of pander to the average person and not delve too deeply into the complex kind of computer engineering type of aspect to it. So for those of you who don't know, blockchain is a digital ledger software program that since its introduction in 2009 has quickly kind of found its way into pretty much every aspect of the financial services industry. It's disrupting just about every business industry on the planet. So tonight we're going to get into the blockchain technology, how it's affecting our monetary system, and how it's basically going to do for the monetary system what the internet did for communication and what the internal combustion engine did for transportation. So let's get into, first we're going to get into the blockchain, how it works. So there's a short video that we have on that offers a pretty good description.
A blockchain is a chain of blocks that contains information. This technique was originally described in 1991 by a group of researchers and was originally intended to timestamp digital documents so that it's not possible to backdate them or to tamper with them, almost like a notary. However, it went by mostly unused until it was adapted by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009 to create the digital cryptocurrency Bitcoin. Now, a blockchain is a distributed ledger that is completely open to anyone. Property. Once some data has been recorded inside the blockchain, it becomes very difficult to change it. So how does that work? Well, let's take a closer look at a block. Each block contains some data, the hash of the block, and the hash of the previous block. The data that is stored inside the block depends on the type of blockchain. The Bitcoin blockchain, for example, stores the details about a transaction in here, such as the sender, receiver, and the amount of coins. A block also has a hash. You can compare a hash to a fingerprint. It identifies a block and all of its contents, and it's always unique, just as a fingerprint. Once a block is created, its hash is being calculated. Changing something inside the block will cause the hash to change. So in other words, hashes are very useful when you want to detect changes to blocks. If the fingerprint of a block changes, it no longer is the same block. The third element inside each block is the hash of the previous block. And this effectively creates a chain of blocks, and it's this technique that makes a blockchain so secure. Let's take an example. Here we have a chain of 3 blocks. As you can see, each block has a hash and the hash of the previous block. So block number 3 points to block number 2, and number 2 points to number 1. Now the first block is a bit special. It cannot point to previous blocks because, well, it's the first one. We call this block the genesis block. Now, let's say that you tamper with the second block. This causes the hash of the block to change as well. In turn, that will make block 3 and all following blocks invalid because they no longer store a valid hash of the previous block. So changing a single block will make all following blocks invalid. But using hashes is not enough to prevent tampering. Computers these days are very fast and can calculate hundreds of thousands of hashes per second. You can effectively tamper with a block and recalculate all the hashes of other blocks to make your blockchain valid again. So to mitigate this, blockchains have something that is called proof of work. It's a mechanism that slows down the creation of new blocks. In Bitcoin's case, it takes about 10 minutes to calculate the required proof of work and add a new block to the chain. This mechanism makes it very hard to tamper with the blocks, because if you tamper with one block, you'll need to recalculate the proof of work for all the following blocks. So the security of a blockchain comes from its creative use of hashing and the proof of work mechanism. But there is one more way that blockchains secure themselves, and that is by being distributed. Instead of using a central entity to manage the chain, blockchains use a peer-to-peer network and everyone is allowed to join. When someone joins this network, he gets a full copy of the blockchain. The node can use this to verify that everything is still in order. Now, let's see what happens when someone creates a new block. The block is sent to everyone on the network. Each node then verifies the block to make sure that it hasn't been tampered with. And if everything checks out, each node adds this block to their own blockchain. All the nodes in this network create consensus. They agree about what blocks are valid and which aren't. Blocks that are tampered with will be rejected by other nodes in the network. So to successfully tamper with a blockchain, you'll need to tamper with all the blocks on the chain, redo the proof of work for each block, and take control of more than 50% of the peer-to-peer network. Only then will your tampered block become accepted by everyone else. So this is almost impossible to do. Blockchains are also constantly evolving. One of the most recent developments is the creation of smart contracts. These contracts are simple programs that are stored on the blockchain and can be used to automatically exchange coins based on certain conditions. More on smart contracts in a later video. The creation of blockchain technology piqued a lot of people's interest. Soon others realized that this technology could be used for other things, like storing medical records, creating a digital notary, or even collecting taxes. So now you know what a blockchain is, how it works on a basic level, and what problems it solves. Want to learn how you can implement a simple blockchain in JavaScript? Then check out this video here. And as always, thank you very much for watching.
So as you can see, it very easily gets complex to where if you're not, a computer programmer or engineer, it gets a little difficult to explain. So we're going to try our best to keep it in layman's terms so that the average person can understand. But basically at its core, blockchain is like the underlying technology behind Bitcoin and all of the other cryptocurrencies. It's a decentralized system with a shared memory. So for Bitcoin, for example, that shared memory is...
Want to know more about blockchain technology? You should take online blockchain courses on Udemy. They've got fresh new courses, all taught by expert instructors.
Blockchain courses.
So for Bitcoin, that shared memory is basically represented how many
You'll learn Ethereum
Bitcoins
blockchain
Sorry.
programming. Everything you need to know in this space. You can take the courses at any...
Okay, go ahead.
if you want to buy that guy's course. we just
All right,
gave,
go ahead.
just gave him a free plug.
Yeah.
So that shared memory in Bitcoin's example is represented by how many Bitcoins everyone owns at any given time. So picture like a spreadsheet that's duplicated thousands of times across a network of computers, and then imagine that that network is designed to regularly update and check itself. And then another benefit to this is that it's military grade security, so it's never been hacked. Like there's examples of people's Bitcoins that have been stolen, but that occurs at the access point. So that occurs, through individuals' phones or computers that are getting hacked. The underlying technology of blockchain has never been infiltrated. So technology has kind of progressed to the point to where, I can tune in instantly to a video chat with somebody from China in real time, but the monetary system hasn't caught up to that yet. So if I wanted to, for example, send that person some money, it would take, a week or more, not to mention the fees that are associated with like a transaction like that. So that's kind of where blockchain comes in. Now, one of the first developments in blockchain was Bitcoin, which everybody's familiar with. So there's something like, I think you said over 1,500 different cryptocurrencies, and each one kind of has their own business model around it. They're all using that same underlying blockchain technology. And what the video mentioned about smart contracts is kind of like an app store on the blockchain, which is what Ethereum is represented by. So we'll go into another video from the blockchain.com's homepage, where it kind of dives into the development of the decentralized blockchain technology.
The digital world is a part of our DNA now. It's how we share our experiences, how we consume our entertainment, how we stay in touch with our loved ones. This is how we used to send letters, to travel, to make phone calls and shoot movies. Mankind invented software and technologies, breaking every distance, border, difficulty, and pulling the world instantly closer together. But what about banking? Think about it. Billions of people in the world have no access to financial tools. Borders and the system create barriers. We trusted banks, but they collapsed time and time again. They take hundreds of billions in fees from us. Bitcoin doesn't care where you're born, what color your skin is, or where you are in the world. It's an open network. It's maintained equally by people all over the world. Anyone can verify the transactions, and it happens instantly. For just a few cents, you can send any amount of money to anywhere in the world. Bitcoin is a global community of inclusion, an invitation to participate in an open world. Join us today, start a Bitcoin wallet, and help us shape the future.
By the way, blockchain is where you can go, blockchain.com is where you can go and download a free wallet and just accept Bitcoin instantaneously. So if that is something that you want to do for your business, all you do is go to blockchain.com, download a free wallet, and then print out your QR code and share your code with other people so they can pay you instantaneously.
So we don't have any more ads coming up?
No more ads right now, Tyler.
All right. So as you can see from that, and then from just the size of this audience in general, the days where people describe Bitcoin as like a Ponzi scheme or like the new tulip mania or whatever, the floodgates are open. There's no putting that genie back in the bottle. It's kind of like trying to shut off the internet today, trying to take away that, because it's a decentralized system that the more people that adopt it, the more efficiently it works. So as I mentioned before, the technology is already disrupting a lot of industries, and we have another video that goes into some of the industries that are adopting that technology.
Very low fees. Abra is
The blockchain is one of the most promising new technologies for the future. So what is it? It's a distributed ledger technology that underlies cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and provides a way to record and transfer data that is transparent, safe, auditable, and resistant to outages. The blockchain has the ability to make the organizations that use it transparent, democratic, decentralized, efficient, and secure. The blockchain is likely to disrupt many industries in the coming 5 to 10 years. These are some of the industries it's already disrupting.
Number 1, banking and payments. Some people say that the blockchain will do to banking what the internet did to media. Blockchain technology can be used to give access to financial services to billions of people around the world, including those in third world countries who don't have access to traditional banking. Technologies like Bitcoin allow anyone to send money across borders almost instantly and with very low fees. Abra is a startup that is working on Bitcoin-based remittance services. And many banks like Barclays are also working on adopting blockchain technology to make their business operations faster, more efficient, and secure. Banks are also increasingly investing in blockchain projects and startups. IBM predicts that about 15% of banks will be using the blockchain by the end of 2017.
Number 2, cybersecurity. Although the blockchain ledger is public, the data is verified and encrypted using advanced cryptography. This way, the data is less prone to being hacked or changed without authorization. The blockchain eliminates the need for middlemen making it more efficient than many legacy systems in cybersecurity.
Number 3, supply chain management mistakes. It can also be used to monitor costs, labor, and even waste and emissions at every point in the supply chain. This has serious implications for understanding and controlling the real environmental impact of products. The blockchain can also be used to verify the authenticity or fair trade status of products by tracking them from their origin. Some blockchain startups working in this sector are Provenance, Fluent, SkuChain, and BlockVerify.
Number 4, forecasting. Blockchain is set to change the entire approach to research, consulting, analysis, and forecasting. Online platforms like Augur are looking to create global decentralized prediction markets. These technologies can be used to place and monitor bets on anything from sports to stocks to elections in a decentralized way.
Number 5, networking and Internet of Things. Samsung and IBM are using blockchain technology for a new concept called Adept, which will create a decentralized network of IoT devices. Operating like a public ledger for a large number of devices, it would eliminate the need for a central location to handle communications between them. The devices would be able to communicate to each other directly to update software, manage bugs, and monitor energy usage.
Number 6, insurance. The global insurance market is based on trust management. Blockchain is a new way of managing trust and can be used to verify many types of data in insurance contracts, like the insured person's identity. So-called oracles can be used to integrate real-world data with blockchain smart contracts. This technology is very useful for any types of insurance that relies on real-world data, for example, crop insurance. Eternity is one blockchain project that is building tools that are useful in the insurance industry.
Number 7, private transport and ride sharing. The blockchain can be used to create decentralized versions of peer-to-peer ride-sharing apps, allowing both car owners and users to arrange terms and conditions in a secure way without third-party providers. Startups working in this area include Arcade City and Lazuz. The use of built-in e-wallets can allow for car owners to automatically pay for parking, highway tolls, and electricity top-ups to the vehicle. UBS, ZF, and Inergy are some of the startups developing blockchain-based e-wallets.
Number 8, cloud storage. Data on a centralized server is inherently vulnerable to hacking, data loss, or human error. Using blockchain technology allows cloud storage to be more secure and robust against attacks. Storage is one example of a cloud storage network using blockchain technology.
Number 9, charity. Common complaints in the charity space include inefficiency and corruption, which prevent money from reaching those who are meant to have it. Using blockchain technology to track donations can let you be sure that your money is going to end up in the right hands. Bitcoin-based charities like BitGive Foundation use blockchain's secure and transparent distributed ledger to let donors see that the intended parties receive the funds.
Number 10, voting. Probably one of the most important areas of society that blockchain will disrupt is voting. The 2016 US election is not the first time certain parties were accused of rigging election results. Blockchain technology can be used for voter registration and identity verification, and electronic vote counting to ensure that only legitimate votes are counted and no votes are changed or removed. Creating an immutable, publicly viewable ledger of recorded votes would be a massive step forward in making elections more fair and democratic. Democracy Earth and Follow My Vote are two startups aiming to disrupt democracy itself through creating blockchain-based online voting systems for governments.
Number 11, government. Government systems are often slow and opaque and prone to corruption. Implementing blockchain-based systems can significantly reduce bureaucracy and increase security, efficiency, and transparency of government operations. Dubai, for example, is aiming to put its government documents on the blockchain by 2020.
Number 12, public benefits. The public benefits system is another sector that suffers from slowness and bureaucracy. Blockchain technology can help assess, verify, and distribute welfare or unemployment benefits in a much more streamlined and secure way. GovCoin is a UK-based company that is helping the government to distribute public benefits using blockchain technology. The blockchain is also a good contender for implementing a basic income. Circles is a project working on developing a blockchain-based technology for implementing a universal basic income.
Number 13, healthcare. Another industry that relies on so many legacy systems and is ripe for disruption is healthcare. One of the challenges hospitals face is the lack of a secure platform to store and share data. They're also often victims of hacking because of outdated infrastructure. Blockchain technology can allow hospitals to safely store data like medical records and share it with the authorized professionals or patients. This will improve data security and can even help improve accuracy and speed of diagnosis. Gem and Tyrion are two startups that are working on disrupting the current healthcare data space.
Number 14, energy management. Energy management has been a highly centralized industry for a long time. Energy producers and users cannot buy it directly from each other and have to go through the public grid or trusted private intermediary. Transactive Grid is a startup using the Ethereum blockchain that allows customers to buy and sell energy directly from each other in a peer-to-peer way.
Number 15, online music. Several blockchain startups are coming up with ways for musicians to get paid directly from their fans without giving up large percentages of sales to platforms or record companies. Smart contracts can also be used to automatically solve licensing issues and better catalog songs with their respective creators. Mycelia and Ujo Music are two startups creating blockchain-based solutions in the music industry.
Number 16, retail. When you shop, you trust the retail system of the store or the marketplace. Decentralized blockchain-based retail utilities work differently. They connect buyers and sellers without a middleman and associated fees. Sorry, Amazon. In these cases, trust comes from smart contract systems, the security of exchanges, and built-in reputation management systems. Two startups disrupting the retail space are OpenBazaar and OB1.
Number 17, real estate. Some of the issues in buying and selling real estate are bureaucracy, lack of transparency, fraud, and mistakes in public records. Using blockchain technology can speed up transactions by reducing the need for paper-based record keeping. It can also help with tracking, verifying ownership, ensuring accuracy of documents, and transferring property deeds. Ubiquity is a blockchain-secured platform for real estate record keeping that is an alternative for legacy paper-based systems.
Number 18, crowdfunding. Crowdfunding has become a popular method of fundraising for new startups and projects in recent years. Crowdfunding platforms exist to create trust between project creators and supporters, but they also charge high fees. In blockchain-based crowdfunding, trust is created through smart contracts and online reputation systems, which removes the need for a middleman. New projects can raise funds by releasing their own tokens that represent value and can later be exchanged for products, services, or cash. Many blockchain projects have now raised millions of dollars through such token sales. Although it's still early days and the regulatory future of blockchain-based crowdfunding is uncertain, it's an area that holds a lot of promise.
Number 19, your industry. If your industry deals with data or transactions of any kind, it's likely a field that can be disrupted by blockchain technology. The space is wide open and the opportunities are many.
Did we miss anything? What are some other industries the blockchain is disrupting? Leave your comments below.
So yeah, as you can see, like when a lot of people look at cryptocurrencies, they think about the currencies themselves, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, but the blockchain technology behind it is where a lot of people in business see the opportunity. You can build a lot of different kind of disruptive applications or smart contracts off of the blockchain, like Ethereum's blockchain. So before I pass it back over to Rob, I also did want to mention that we'll be doing some kind of one-on-one training and teaching on how I originally got into cryptocurrencies, which is the trading aspect of it, getting in and out of them really quickly. So we'll be teaching people how to read the price action charts and stuff like that. So if that's something you're interested in, you can come see me afterwards. And you know, with that being said, I will turn it back over to Rob.
All right, so pretty much it covers everything. Blockchain is disrupting all aspects of our life and our lives, and it's a very interesting technology, and it's not the only technology that's being disruptive, but it is the main one that has driven some of the cryptocurrencies that I'm going to talk about tonight. So I'm getting on to the top 10 cryptocurrencies, and I always use the coinmarketcap.com to see what's at the top. So this is by far not the amount that you'll see. It's just going to be based on the market cap, as not the amount of money that each coin is worth. Okay, so let's get started. How many people here own cryptocurrency? How many people do not own cryptocurrency. So it's about a half and half, which is usually what we get here. It looked like a little more cryptocurrency owners, which is I'm happy to see. It puts a smile on my face because it used to be the other way around, where everyone that came was brand new and had no idea what it was. So I'm sure all of you are invested in different types of cryptos, and I'm interested in hearing about those. Now, normally we go through each individual that's here. You stand up and you tell us who you are. There's a lot of people here tonight. That'll take a long time, so we're not going to do that. But we did leave the tail end half hour of our presentation tonight. Hopefully you'll stay, meet and greet some other people, talk to them about crypto, and afterwards they offered for us to come down to the social house next door. So if you'd like to drink and something to eat and you want to hang out, please do so. So let's get into the cryptos. Let's talk about top cryptos and where they're going. All right, so let's start with the one that everybody is very happy about tonight. And if you own Bitcoin, you should have a big old smile on your face. Yeah, smiling? Good. Because it has jumped to over $10,000 as I drove in tonight. So yesterday I did this chart that you see here. We're at $9,622.08. Our last time that we met last month, the market cap was $65 billion. This month, it's jumped to $95 billion. And actually, the last time I checked, it was over 155 as the market cap. So, Bitcoin was created in 2009. It was created right after blockchain was created. And the system updates every 10 minutes and rewards miners with Bitcoin to solve computational problems. And it requires evolved computers to do so in a higher processing power to maximize their return. It's created a high demand for what's called AMD cards or gaming cards. A lot of gaming people are in need now, so we want their systems. So if they sell them on eBay, you'll see a lot of people will start buying some of the gamer systems. They have a higher processing power that allows you to mine Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies faster.
Excuse me, but you can't mine Bitcoin with GPUs. It's only ASIC miners. So GPUs,
Yeah, Bitcoin Gold, you can actually do it, and ASICs miners. Yes, you're right. You're right about that. Who said that, by the way? Where are you? Oh, good. Good to know. All right. By the way, we are a forum, so if you have questions, you just raise your hand. We'll be happy to hear from you or answer any questions that you might have, okay? Right now, the current circulation of Bitcoin is over 16 million with a cap of 21 million. There'll be no other Bitcoin added to this number. And so let's take a quick look at the history. So launched in 2009, it was launched at 0.001 cents. And since then, it has, I want to show you my little graphic here. All right, so I did this yesterday. It was actually $9,384.27. And in 2009, you see when we launched, we were at 0.001 cent. In 2010, we were at 7 cents. In 2011, we jumped to $15. This was the first wave of millionaires. Millionaires were generally interested in Bitcoin, knew how cryptocurrency worked, reinvested in the technology of blockchain, have now gone on to launch their own businesses and become quite successful. So as you can see right then, after that, we dropped down to 7, jumped up to $100 in 2013, 2014 we were at 600, 2015 220, 2016 750, and now we are over $10,000 in 2017. So what the heck is going on? Everyone's figuring out there's only 21 million Bitcoin left. That's not the only reason. The main reason is it's becoming legalized around a lot of places in the world, a lot of countries, such as Japan, Australia, South Korea. All of these are legal places that you can own Bitcoin as a digital currency. As it gets adopted into more and more countries and laws are written, the demand goes higher. As the demand goes higher, you'll see more and more exchanges go on. So right now, Japan is now that it's legal to have Bitcoin in Japan, it's also being regulated. So all cryptocurrency exchanges have to file with the Japanese government in order to be accepted. And so far, they've accepted over 40 of them. So they are going live in 2017. That's the reason you see all these people buying up Bitcoin. Now they have access to it and other cryptocurrencies also. So the second one that hit us today was the Ether coin, or Ethereum. So how many people own Ethereum here? Anybody? Many crickets. There's a lot of happy people here today. Yeah, because Ethereum, again, has just seen a huge jump in price. We were at $310 last month. We're at $475 this month. That has not come without some sort of controversy, though, because there was a lot of millions of dollars stolen in Ethereum right now. And Ethereum has some issues. And Vitalik Buterin is the young gentleman that you see here, is the developer of Ethereum. He proposed Ethereum in 2013, and I met the guy. I got to meet him at a Bitcoin conference in Miami, and a lot of what he was talking about went right over my head. I had no idea what he was saying. All I knew is that he was surrounded by a bunch of people, and I stood close by to try to figure out what the heck was going on. I left there with no knowledge, had no idea what he just talked about. The guy even tried to hand me a wallet. I was like, I don't know about that. I don't want that whole thing. I don't know what you're talking about. But I will say this, he is very active in meeting with leaders around the world. In fact, he just met with Putin 3 months ago in order to create a Russian coin, their own cryptocurrency. A lot of countries are interested in creating their own cryptocurrencies, so that keeps the people in their spending money and they can tax it and so on and so forth. So Ethereum is the platform in which you could create tokens, smart contracts. It also can be utilized as a cryptocurrency, so it is valuable to some folks. So the problems that are occurring with Ethereum, though, are pretty widespread. But the one that is always brought up is a scalability issue, and that is being addressed by Vitalik every single day. In fact, the video that I just put out, that's on the bottom right here, and I'm not going to play it for you because I think you've seen a lot of videos tonight. You will have access to this PDF and be able to watch that in the future. But the reason I wanted to add this down here at the bottom is because this is a link to the video that he just did last week. Okay, so it shows you what he's talking about, what he's concerned with, and I'll make sure you get that link to that video so you can see it. But you can Google, you can YouTube it, and Vitalik Buterin is his name, and he usually will come to the top. So you can see exactly what he's concerned with and how Ethereum and his organization is addressing these issues. So, Ethereum projects are just exploding. Around the world, people are just using this platform to create all sorts of tokens. This one in particular is called Civic. It is focusing on identity. It's an identity platform. It allows you to sign up with Civic. It puts you on, it gives you an identifier code, which will allow you to go into a bank, go through the airport, go to any type of facility and prove that you are you, no one can steal your identity. Kind of like a LifeLock, however they charge less. When Civic launched as a token, it launched in the beginning of this year, and now charges $3 per person in order for you to use their service. Kind of like LifeLock, I think, is $11. So that gives you an idea of where they're going with their organization. At the bottom down here, I wanted to make sure you got a direct link to the developer side of Ethereum, okay? That is a GitHub where people are sharing information that you want to go in and see what the developers are actually working on. So Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash has now jumped into third position. It was fourth last month, so it changed positions with one we're going to go on next. But Bitcoin Cash, I think, is the bigger picture here. It's the one that many of us are interested in investing in now because of what it does. And what it does is this. Bitcoin itself is made with 1 megabyte a block size transaction speed. And Bitcoin Cash was developed to be 8 megabytes transaction speed. This would speed up the transactions that need to happen in order to compete with people like Visa or PayPal, which do 2,000 transactions per second. Right now, Bitcoin cannot keep up with that because it's only 1 megabyte. Bitcoin Cash, however, now that it's scalable up to 8 megabytes, is able to do that. So it becomes very valuable to people, but it's still in its infancy stages. People are still catching on, but they're catching on quick. How quick? Last month it was $336. This month it is $1,600. So, if you bought Ethereum along with Bitcoin people, so it is growing and becoming very popular and being implemented in all types of organizations. But one in particular, the Ethereum Foundation, is a Swiss non-profit organization. So Ethereum runs as a non-profit, just so you know. All right. So the next one I want to talk to you about, the next one on our list is Ripple XRP. And how many people own Ripple right now, XRP? A bunch of you. Okay, good. Good to know. Ripple is the latest, fastest, and most scalable digital asset, enabling real-time global payments anywhere in the world. XRP consistently handles over 1,500 transactions per second, 24/7. It can scale to handle the same output as Visa. And last September, Ripple launched the world's first interbank blockchain group for global payments with global payment firm Steering Group. They also have been implemented into 47 Japanese banks and tested as a viable solution to the SWIFT process, that's wiring money from place to place. It is making it quicker, faster, and less expensive than the SWIFT process. So XRP is taking the place of what we call SWIFT. Japan's largest bank, Mitsubishi UFJ, has just joined the group of Ripple along with 90 banks around the world as the new Ripple International Payment Network. Boy, has this one been like sitting around the 20 cents range for a while and jumped up to 28 and back down to 24. But you have to keep in mind that just a few months ago it was 10 cents. So it's a good buy according to some people, but other people it's not. So Ripple, though, I want you to know, is actually run by a corporation. Ripple is one of the few coins that is run by a corporation. They are extremely active in meeting with banking officials, counterproductive really to cryptocurrency in general, because cryptocurrency is not really bank friendly, right? It's a peer-to-peer currency. They don't want banks involved. Ripple went the other way. They went, yeah, we really need to get in with the banking system. We need to get our system implemented with them and become more and more valuable. And that is just what they've done. So please, at some point, you know, if you want the PDF mailed to you, or click on some of the links that I've put in here. The Learn Now links at the top will always take you to their primary website so you can see what they're about. So Litecoin. Now Litecoin is kind of one of these coins that has always been stale. Hasn't really gone anywhere, sits out there, but it's always at the top. And this is me with Charlie Lee over in Miami. I have to put my picture up there with him. But Litecoin was created by Charlie Lee, and it has just passed the $3 billion market cap for the first time. And it has gone from last month, we were at $58, a little over $58, and now we're over $91 for this month. So it shows you that Litecoin is catching on, it is becoming valuable, and the creation and transfer of coins is based on an open source cryptographic protocol and not managed by a central authority. So Litecoin is something that I believe should be in your portfolio, and as just my suggestion, it is a valuable coin and looks like it's headed up. The next one we're going to talk about is called Dashcoin or Darkcoin. Now, how many people own Darkcoin? Anybody own Darkcoin? Got a couple of people here. That's interesting. Good. Darkcoin was launched, or Dashcoin as it's called now, but Darkcoin was launched, you know, just like back in April, and so it's new, right? So you're understanding that these all are centered around the same things. That is quick transactions, but Dash in general is considered one that is focusing on anonymity. Now, that means that the transactions that are done, you don't know who did the transaction, where it came from, or who is getting the end result of that transaction. You don't know the buyer or the seller. It's all hidden. That is why it's called dark coin or dash coin. So seeking an opportunity to get into the cannabis market, they wanted to get access to the $6.7 billion market that sits out there for cannabis. And right now, as it's legal in some states, they aren't able to go to the bank with their money. Their banks don't want anything to do with cannabis. They will not bank with them. So cannabis owners or cannabis places are eager to find a way to get their hands on the money. So they're using Dash in order to do that. Dash is incorporated into their POS system, a platform enabling them to use Dash quickly. IBM, Cirrus Computer Solutions, industry-specific point-of-sale partners are all partnering with Dash Coin. So it's also another one that I think is valuable and might be something you want to hang on to. IOTA Coin. This is the one that we were just kind of got Dieter up here talking about. They'll be back here to form an organization in here at the Rocket Lounge. We were lucky enough last month to have the developers here who gave us a really clear and concise picture of where IOTA is now and where it is going. So last month when he gave that presentation here, we were at 48 cents. Today when I came in, I think we were at 140, okay, $1.40. So that shows you what's happening. But what really happened with IOTA within the past week is that they were adopted by Coin One.
Who owns IOTA?
Yeah, you own IOTA. Yeah. So, yeah, does anybody have IOTA coin here? Very surprising. How did you buy your IOTA coin, sir?
One of my really good friends is one of the initial investors in IOTA, so he knows the creator. I know his name has come from beyond online, but he was actually on the phone with him last week speaking with the lawyers, and he actually just retired because he's one of the early investors.
Cool. Very cool. Who else? How about you, sir? You got IOTA coin? Why did you invest in IOTA?
Because you told me to.
Good reason. Yeah, so they were here. I mean, they really gave us a clear and concise picture of what IOTA is. But IOTA is different than any other crypto we're going to talk about tonight because it doesn't use the blockchain. It uses what's called the Tangle Network. That's different. The Tangle Network is something that is going to take a little bit of a while for you to understand. But I do want to take the time to just go ahead and visit their website really quick so you can see a little bit more about what they are. That's not the one we need. By the way, you know, guys, I'm really big on following all of the coins that I'm interested in, and I don't know how many of you use Google Alerts here. Anybody use Google Alerts now? Okay, a few of you. If you Google Alerts, and then you put in the coin that you're interested in, it will email you relevant information every single day on that coin, okay? Anything that's out there. Actually, any topic that you're interested in as a human. So. Also, I mentioned to you guys earlier that I use CoinMarketCap in order to do this presentation. And CoinMarketCap is really interesting because once you click on a coin, if you go down to this left-hand side here, if you click at the top, that will take you directly to anybody's primary website. All right, just so you know. So, and you know, we're just sitting here right now and it shows you that IOTA coin just jumped to $1.48. That's 38% increase within the past day or so. So it's called the economy of things, right? And it's scalable, it's decentralized, and it's also being utilized right now into some integration to some business platforms. So I think we're early enough in IOTA to reap the benefits of it. and coming to this presentation last month and hearing from them, you know, they're well on their way to being a very valuable coin. So at $1.48, why not, right? Why not buy some? However, as Americans, we're having a little bit of a problem. We can't buy only on one exchange, which is called Binance. And anybody else purchase it any other way that I need to know about? What you got, buddy?
I had used Bitfinex, but they've suspended U.S. accounts usage, but I had bought and sold IOTA through Bitfinex. But I don't think that's an option anymore. I also had a legacy account.
So now you can't do it,
I don't
right?
think it's available.
Can't deposit it. How about somebody back there?
We actually did the same thing. Bitfinex has closed down for US, so now we're at Binance.
You went to Binance also. Okay, interesting.
I think Bitfinex is also going to be adding it soon.
Well, that would be great, because they even more purchasers, and then the value would go up. So again, you know, something that you might want to go ahead and put into your portfolio. I went ahead and added all the direct links down here to what we're talking about tonight. Also the fact that they were joining forces with the Korean exchange Coin1.
So what's the reason that they stopped trading it on these other platforms?
It's the reason being is because in the U.S. we're getting blocked from a lot of purchasing of these coins, and it's usually because these exchanges are based in other countries and they don't want to deal with our laws, and that's why they're blocking Americans. I think it's kind of a punishment.
So then is there anyone tracking where the majority of the money going into cryptocurrencies and across the board is coming from?
Oh yeah, yeah. You can see
Where
the
do you find that information? Because that's interesting.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd have to get you that, but you know, I will say that most currency purchases right now in crypto is coming from Japan and South Korea.
Okay. If you go on GDAX, which is a trading platform, it has indicators that shows you the volume of trades within each cryptocurrency that you click on. So that's one of the indicators that's on that platform.
I think we're talking some info on that one. The way to find that information is you have to find the on-ramps to get your national currency into digital currency. So every country is different. United States is Coinbase and Gemini. Korea is different, and so forth. So if you find out the on-ramps, then see who's doing the volume to their national currency. You can start seeing who's participating in what markets more.
Exactly.
Got a question for you.
Sure.
How is our Bitcoin, I heard on December 11th that the Chicago Mercantile Exchange is going to start accepting Bitcoin futures. How does that relate compared to, is that going to be true Bitcoins that they're buying?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yeah. And I think you're talking about Gemini, and yes. Yeah, they will.
So that's going to take the Bitcoin market to another level.
That is right, yeah. And because of the value that you see 10,000 is really why. Because the funds are coming on now, and a lot of people are purchasing.
I got a secondary question.
Yes, sir.
Okay. XRP.
Yes.
Is there any truth to it that, was it December 16th, they're going to buy 60% of their coins back?
They currently do have it. They set that aside initially when they launched their coin,
Okay.
but now they've promised that they wouldn't inundate the market with that coin. They had to come up with a date, platform, or a calendar that they would say they would only release so much at a certain time. And you can actually Google that and they'll come up. They'll show you when they're going to release their coin. They promise not to do that though. His question is very valid, because if a company launches a coin and they're holding on to, let's say they launch 21 million, and they hold on to 3 million of it, at some point they could just drop that 3 million onto the exchange. Exactly, it would kill your price value. Sir?
So how much Bitcoin do you think is lost now?
How much is lost? Yeah. Oh gosh, it's so hard to tell. I think it was 40 million were lost last night. I mean, it boggles the mind.
No, how many Bitcoin have been lost to this point? It's 16.8 million supplies. Yeah, I think it was. I saw something a couple of days ago. They were saying 7 to 8 million.
It's about 4.5.
Right. It's about 4 million coins have been lost to people that lost their key to their wallet. They lost a hard drive. The computer crashed. They can't get a hold of it, and it's just not there. It's no longer accessible and everything.
There's also a big problem too with people that have like a Coinbase account, for example, and they die. There's no way for like the government to get into that to pass that on to relatives. So that's another issue that they're trying to work out.
It's very important that if you do have Bitcoin, that you store your wallet on a paper wallet. Please put it into a safe of some sort. If you do pass on, that way your family can get a hold of it.
Does that also include cold storage?
That is right. Yeah, you could put it on a tracer. You can put it on a hard, you can put it on there. Or put it. I just print my wallet off and put it in my safe. And, So that did happen to some folks, by the way. Their son passed, and the only reason they knew they had Bitcoin is because they saw transactions coming from his bank statements to Coinbase. So they contacted Coinbase to say, hey, my son passed. I want to get a hold of that bit. What does he have in there? And they said, sorry, you don't have access to that. So.
However, I recommend everybody, if you're gonna, a friend of mine just got hacked for a ton of Bitcoin he had, and it was because he printed his wallet. He's huge on social media, huge following, he's made a name for himself now, and some hackers hacked onto his printer through his Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, and they're able to hack his printed wallet through his code.
You are kidding me.
So I recommend everybody just, write your key phrase, don't write anything on your phone, don't save anything on your phone, make sure you write everything and, make a copy yourself, written down, don't write anything.
One of our members, Jeremy, wrote a white paper on just basic kind of security protocols that you can follow, stuff like that you just mentioned. So if you go to the Facebook page, that there's a PDF on there, I believe.
Sir?
Yeah, it's on the
I got
website.
some questions, or I'd like to know your opinion on, well, one thing I had heard that the Bitcoin that do get lost or when people pass away, that can add a small amount of value to Bitcoin, that's not necessarily a negative thing for the overall Bitcoin.
It's negative for the
what's your
family.
opinion on USDT, Tether? Sketchy, I feel like.
Yeah, you're going to have to give me some time to look at Tether and all that. Yeah, but I know what you're talking about. It's just, give me a little time to go into that. I have a blockchain head right now. I'm surprised my head doesn't look like a block. I've watched so many videos the past month. I can't even tell you. I think I woke up like this on the side of my desk the other day. And so, but I will look into it for you. Number 9 is Monero coin. And this coin is just surprising the heck out of me. It jumped from $89 to $176 in 1 month. And Monero focuses on privacy, decentralization, scalability. However, it runs on Windows, Mac, Linux, Android, and FreeBSD. It also is a coin that is being, you probably don't even know this, but sometimes when you go to some Bitcoin platforms, they'll start mining. And it's mining Monero. And what that is there's actually a code that you can put inside your website right now, and any visitor that visits your website, their browser will start mining Monero for you.
Wait, say that again, please.
So, you put the code in your website, and then anybody that visits your website, the browser hijacks and starts to mine Monero for you and put it into your wallet. So, some people are up and about it. You'll see it at the bottom. It'll say mining, turn off. Or if you don't even care about it, you leave it, you have no idea what's going on. They're mining, they're using your computer.
Is that illegal?
No, it's not illegal. No, not yet.
You cannot use an ASIC chip to mine Monero. You only use a GPU.
Yes, sir, yes. That's a good point.
Benefits just individuals that wouldn't mind it.
Exactly, that's a good point. Does anybody own Monero in this room? There's 3 guys here. Okay, good. So Monero is a leading cryptocurrency that focuses on privacy, censorship-resistant transactions. It's using a cryptography to shield and sending and receiving addresses as well as transaction amounts. So every Monero transaction by default is sending and receiving transactions as well as transaction amounts. So anyway, it's a currency that I think is very valuable, and it's getting more and more interesting as time goes on. I skipped Bitcoin Gold.
Yeah, that's 5.
Yeah, that was 5. I skipped Bitcoin Gold. I'm not unhappy about that though, because Bitcoin is, there's there's rumors that Bitcoin Gold is a scam, okay? And if you look at the numbers as they are today, it shows that they're all in circulation, all the coins. Something's awry. Something's not working. Yeah, so being number 5, I skipped over it because I don't feel like it's valuable enough to really tell each and every one of you. However, it's my job to tell you about the top cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin Gold is there. It's at 300 and I think it was around 700, then it dropped down to 130, and then, you know, and it's because the people that are behind Bitcoin Gold aren't really are well accepted into the cryptocurrency community, right? So they're rejecting them. So, Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic is one that kind of just is kind of like Litecoin. It's been sitting there, but all of a sudden today it's jumped way up, and we're not really sure why. All we know is it went from $10.73 last month to $26.44 this month. And there was $1.5 billion in 24-hour trading volume this week.
That's weird.
So that, they say, came from South Korea. So we're not know why or what's going on. Is South Korea trying to pump up Ethereum Classic? But anyway, that's a theory that they're trying to pump it. Anybody own Ether Classic in this room? No? All right. You do? One guy. Okay, good. Good. And why did you invest in Ethereum Classic?
Because the Ethereum Foundation rolled back the blockchain after the DAO was hacked.
They did not roll it back.
Oh, they did.
It's not the right word. Things happened, but it was not
Call
that.
it whatever you want. They played God with the blockchain, and you're not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be immutable. So, myself and a lot of other people believe that if they can do it once, they can do it again. And if a blockchain is supposed to be immutable or unchangeable, leave things be after a hack or anything.
I see.
Yeah, one other comment on that is that, that is similar to Bitcoin Cash. They're the result of a fork, a hard fork. When the DAO, they had that big accident, they then voted to go ahead and do the classic Ethereum is the old blockchain, and then the new, the hard fork. Same thing with the Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is the old fork.
That's right, yeah. It happened during a split. So Ethereum Classic was born from a split, and so was Bitcoin Cash. Both of them, are different animals, but Ethereum Classic seems to be gaining traction, and might be something you want to go ahead and add into to your organization. But look, it was only just born in July of 2015. So it's like
and what you'll see is miners will switch back and forth because when difficulty gets too high on the better one, they'll all of a sudden see an opportunity.
Yeah,
to switch to
they'll shift over. Exactly. Sir?
Nobody's in charge. That's an individual miner making his own mine up. He goes, hey, the difficulty is lower over here. I can make more profit. He turns the machine over. Of course, you'll have guys.
No, I'm talking about you decide on the fork or not. When you fork or not, is there a group, a consortium of people?
There is, yeah. The miners need to agree together in a consortium, so they have to agree to do it, and sometimes they disagree. And
Use some kind of vote somewhere?
yeah, I don't know how the process actually works. I don't know if it's a voting process, but yeah, it's a consensus. That's right. So so again, the market cap is now $3 billion on Ethereum Classic.
Hey, I had a question about the Bitcoin split. I think it was called the Bitcoin Unlimited and Bitcoin Cash when they split or something like that.
Bitcoin Original and Bitcoin Cash, correct?
Yeah, so when they split, and some research I got to know that initially Bitcoin never had the smart contract system like Ether had. Did the new Bitcoin introduce that smart contract system, the Crypto 2.0 as they call it?
It's still not available in an easy platform, so you can't go on to Bitcoin and say, okay, I'm going to create a smart contract, unless you have some knowledge. You need to understand blockchain in order to create a smart contract, right? So Ethereum just made it easy, is what he did. He made it really easy for you to go on. Yeah, I mean, you got to know a little bit, you know. It's not that easy, but you go in and you understand how to create a token pretty simple by watching maybe a YouTube video, and it takes you a step-by-step process. It's not the only one that's doing it though. Tokenization is huge right now. Tokenization is probably ICOs or initial coin offerings are really what everyone is nervous about. That is why a lot of countries are now cracking down on cryptocurrency in general because of the ICOs. In a normal way to raise money would be an initial public offering where you would have to give all your financial information to the SEC. You'd have to get approved to do that, and then you would set a date, and then you would launch your initial public offering and so on and so forth. ICOs, on the other hand, are unregulated. You could decide today, I want to raise money for my company. How am I going to do that? I'm going to offer tokens for my company. And you set the amount of tokens, and then you start to sell them, or you start to offer them to the public. You're going to have a miner behind that, though. Somebody has to be mining those coins, right? So as it becomes more and more popular and miners get involved, that's where you see a lot of the increase in the value of the coins. They start to rise in value.
Rob, one quick question.
Yes, sir.
I come from a transport background, and I get confused when, like ATM transfer, you have headers and tail in, and you got the capsule of data that you put in it and you transfer it across the net. In this kind of technology, I understand the coin based with the information, long address to it, but now you're talking contracts or PDF files or something. How is that going to play inside the blockchain?
So it's a different blockchain altogether. So they use the software blockchain to create tokens, right? Or Ethereum or other tokens, all these tokens that you see, or all these coins. So they use the blockchain in order to do that and to create those coins. So there's different blockchains for every single thing. Let's say for instance, yeah, 1 second, Clifford. So for instance, let's say you wanted to tokenize yourself and you're a very popular person and everyone's watching you, right? So we want to tokenize you as a person. You create tokens and then you sell them, you offer them to the public, your fans, right? I invest in you, I want to buy your token. Maybe you make a movie and you generate money. Maybe you're going to make a commercial and you generate more money. All of that can come back to me in revenue, right? Your coin value is going up. I can trade my coin in and sell it. Be super happy about it. Change is really everything when you think about it. You don't really need to understand the coding behind it or these long digits because it's automatic. It's just automatic when you want it.
You're not really embedding anything into it. It's just the value of that, what you're offering the public for that, whatever entity you're trying to sell.
That's right. Clifford?
Well, particularly with Ethereum, the code that's within it allows particular protocols to be run. So you can put requirements that the person must be a fan of X, person must do Z to go with it. And that's something that is built into the actual coding structure of Ethereum in particular, why it's so easy to tokenize that. Because you can add a particular script onto that coin to say this is Bruce coin. So anybody that's a Bruce fan can go ahead and get that. So now you are a subsidiary essentially of the parent coin and you split off. And that's what gives it value, is the market demand for the Bruce coin or for whatever record, movie, or something else you put out. Now the blockchain technology at its core is similar between blockchain Bitcoin and blockchain Ethereum. Except blockchain Ethereum has the ability to accept different scripts and protocols onto it. So those different scripts and protocols are what are unique to each particular coin, and that one unique thing makes that coin a specific token for a particular.
Is that on the front end application layer before you get in to send it? Everybody would have that.
It's built in along the way. You have the initial wallet, and then that wallet says, "Oh, we'll do this with it too," because it answered this particular protocol. So once it answers that particular protocol, it knows it's that token or it knows it's that original to go forward.
Okay.
And many of the tokens are on top of Ethereum because it's the most conducive to doing that.
That's where most people use in order to create their tokens. It's not the only platform, but it's what most people do to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clifford.
Yes. Can I talk something on top of all that? So a better way to conceptualize all of this is Ethereum is a global computer. All the computers
buy shares in that song by purchasing the best coin. I don't believe it's available in the US yet. They just did their ICO, but if you're a music fan, which I am, like, I'm following it pretty closely.
So in order to follow ICOs, we suggest you go to ICOalerts.com. That will automatically alert your email about any ICOs that are coming up. And let me tell you, there are a ton of them. They're going to email you every day, and you're going to be like, wow. And there's so many really cool things happening in crypto that it's endless, and you'll find yourself wide awake in the middle of the night watching this stuff if you're not careful.
Every night.
Every night, yeah. Every night. So we get a little crypto crazy. We talk to our families and our friends, and we never shut up about it, and they get annoyed about it. But they can't get annoyed anymore because a Bitcoin is $10,000. I tell my dad. My dad is old school. He's 86 years old. He says, you can't hold it in your hand. What do you have there? And I'm like, I have my phone. It's right here. And he's like, no. Like, but if you had a piece of gold, you could buy something. I said, when's the last time you bought something with a piece of gold? Never. And he says, well, what if all the satellites fall out of the sky? And all the computers go down? I said, do you think you're going to go to the bank and knock on the door and they're going to hand you your money? They're not going to hand you your money. So all of this stuff that people are telling you to fear Bitcoin, fear cryptocurrency, fear what's happening is usually put out by the banks. Banking officials do not want you to have peer-to-peer cryptocurrency.
So here's a question then. So thinking about going back to Ripple, how they're trying to work a lot with banks, do you think banks then are going to try and shift the the marketing, I guess, to Ripple?
No, I think banks are coming up with their own coins. Right? Now they're like, how do we keep customer loyalty? They can create a token inside their bank, right?
Yeah.
And you could buy their token. So they're all focusing on that. The only organization that I know that really is kind of joining forces with Coinbase is Fidelity. Fidelity is way ahead. So they're way ahead on the crypto side of things, and they're trying to accept it into their platform. So Fidelity is something that you should look out for when it comes to Coinbase. Coinbase is the US's #1 cryptocurrency exchange, but they only sell a few coins. So they sell, I think right now, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum.
They started Litecoin.
And anything?
No, it's
what was it?
Litecoin.
Thank you, Litecoin.
Ethereum
Yeah.
and Bitcoin.
Yes, sir.
As far as Bitcoin goes, theoretically, once all the coins are mined, will it still exist? From what I understand is that you need miners to make proof of work to make the whole thing kind of work. Now, if there's no miners mining it, or a lot less miners mining it, does it still function as it, will it still be there?
Sure. Yeah.
There'll still be miners, but by the time it reaches that point, there'll be enough momentum going so that people are exchanging it. We still need the computer network in order to do that.
That's right.
Miners still get rewarded by getting a transaction. There won't be any more new coins, but they're going to get it.
Right. They'll be verifying transactions, and that way that they'll be rewarded for that. So it's not going away. Bitcoin is not going away. Not going away. Yes, sir.
If a person owns some Bitcoin before the forks, how do you peel off Bitcoin Gold and Bitcoin Cash? I mean, if you spend any of that Bitcoin, does the other cash and gold go with it?
Depends upon where it is. So if you have your keys to your wallet, like if in blockchain, for instance, it will automatically show when that fork happened. If you go into, I think it's their help section, they'll show you that your wallet is actually sitting there. Your Bitcoin Cash wallet is ready to be
I saw that, but what about Bitcoin Gold?
Bitcoin Gold is not currently supported by a blockchain wallet or Coinbase. And their stance on that is they're still going to wait and see.
Some exchanges
So that's a good question though, because anybody who has their Bitcoin in Coinbase and you want to switch it into another wallet that has a key, please wait till January 1st. They're not going to show you your Bitcoin Gold until January the 1st. Okay.
Treasure has it.
Yeah, and then Clifford had a good point.
Oh, there's wallets like Coinami that gives you multiple addresses That's its key feature. It actually automatically updates you for your Bitcoin Gold and Bitcoin Cash. There's just a little code you need to add whenever you add that coin to it. So if you have a Coinami wallet, it's one of my favorite ones, it automatically does that for you.
Good to know.
How do you spell Coinami?
Coin, O-M-I.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Could you restate what you said a couple minutes ago about Fidelity Investments?
Yeah, Fidelity Investments has been actively looking into Coinbase, right? They want to join forces with Coinbase because it's the biggest cryptocurrency exchange right now in the country. So they're top rumors that they're going to purchase Coinbase.
So how do you buy Coinbase stock?
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Will EOS challenge Ethereum when it's complete? And how do you purchase EOS now?
That I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know. I'd have to look into that for you.
Transfer, once you buy Ethereum.
You guys have answers? Okay.
Yeah.
See how good this forum is? The answers everywhere.
Number one, EOS, you have to have an account or an address, proof of identification outside of the US, so you can get that. Whether or not it will replace Ethereum is only up to the market, because a lot of these forces are determined by demand. These are all fiat currencies. Only reason they have value is because people want to use them. If people want to use EOS more, boom, EOS is the one that becomes the champion. If they want to continue to use Ethereum, boom, it continues to be the champion. Some people always like the tried and true. You know, there's some people that will never go to a digital camera because they see film's the only way to go. But if everybody else is following that, digital becomes a thing. So, yeah.
I have an answer. If you want to buy EOS, the best way to do it is if you can buy Ethereum either through GX, you transfer your funds from Coinbase to GX or from Coinbase to Binance. Transfer Ethereum because it works under the ERC20. It's an ERC20 token. You transfer your funds from Coinbase or GX from the Ethereum blockchain. You transfer those funds to Binance. From Binance, you purchase EOS.
A little more complicated, but yep.
Yeah, sir.
But you still get access to it.
Yeah, just one.
Yes.
Just one. You said before you were talking about the industries it's affecting with blockchain.
Yes.
Is it even tapping into the online gaming industry yet?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. One of the first ones it tapped into was the gaming industry. And Vegas is hot for cryptocurrencies, including one particular strip club that has now created its own cryptocurrency and wants to keep everybody in house.
And there's also, I think it's GMT is their single game something token, and they use their token to be utilized on online platforms.
That's right. Yeah.
So
there's a ton of gaming platforms.
Yeah. Games are one of the.
How about gambling and it's regulated
like
in
yes.
Japan? Is it regulated in China as well?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Is it regulated in China or no?
Yeah. China's very concerned about cryptocurrency. Yeah, hugely. But you know why? Because of the ICOs. Prior to this, they were the strongest ones as far as the exchanges go. They were the strongest miners in the world. They have a mining operation called Bitmain. That's in China. That's 24 acres. People live on site. They don't leave. Those people are there all the time. They have a little basketball court where they play basketball. That's how much exercise they get. But their issue with China now is that they're cracking down on all of this stuff, right? So they are very, very concerned about ICOs. A lot of people raising a lot of money and they don't have their hands in it. They have no way to tax it. They have no way to stop it. So ICOs are what really made the Chinese government go, bing, something needs to happen right here. Let's shut them all down. So Xi Jinping was very active in doing that. He went after a lot of these exchanges.
Undervaluing their currency?
Huh? It undervalues their currency, correct, yeah. But that's pretty much the whole world, right? Right? So, but I think it's just a matter of time before it gets implemented into all aspects of our life. You know, one of the things I want to show you, this right here, is what the USA considers Bitcoin is. And it's classified Bitcoin as a convertible decentralized virtual currency in 2013. And the IRS has Bitcoin is taxed as a property, just so you know. So if you own Bitcoin, that's how the IRS sees it. It doesn't see it as a currency yet.
Is that 20%? 15%?
No, it's capital gains.
Yeah, capital gains.
So
yeah.
it's just something else to make a note, since we just mentioned that right now. As a property, it has capital gains tax, which is 29 point something, basically 30%. So if you have a big win in any coin, it jumps, hold on to 30% to pay the tax man. Technically, they won't find it unless you tell them, but if they find it, they will tax you huge. Best to just pay the extortion fee and let them have their cut.
Extortion fee.
I mean, proper citizens pay taxes. Yes, do that.
Yeah.
But ideally, just to save headache and trouble, give them the 30%. And if you want to fight it, by all means, you might end up committing the rest balance left over after that.
But that is only if you sell and swap through different currencies.
That's right.
If you experience massive gain and do nothing, you're
Right,
not paying
but you
tax.
still have a particular, and if you keep everything in the crypto world, theoretically, yes, but as soon as it goes along the line somewhere else.
Well, even from crypto to crypto, you're on the hook. But
Right.
if you experience a big jump and do nothing, you're still
Best thing to do is
You
just
don't
take it
own
as a capital gains. Just like if you had a particular property and all of a sudden it becomes beachfront property and it shoots up, they're gonna tax you. If you just make a note and just put it aside, it's great savings account. If they never come for it, woohoo! One day you have a wonderful retirement fund. If they do come for it, you are prepared. But if you make a big win and spend $1 million that you just got all on $1 million house, they're still going to be looking for 30%. Rule of thumb, particularly since we have so many people that are new, and I don't go into that, particularly because we have so many people that are new, to hold on to 30% and expect to pay the man.
Only if they come ask for it?
I would volunteer it because technically the tax system is a voluntary tax system, and if you hold back, they will give you a fee, they can put you in jail, and generally the more you have, the more they want to make an example of you. So,
Okay, no comment on that.
Yeah. Just saying. Rule of thumb, just
Yes, sir.
My son, he's 20 years old, he just got out of one job and he's got a small IRA. Could you suggest one of those, I've seen them online, the Bitcoin IRAs?
Could.
Any,
Yeah, Bitcoin IRA. Yeah, that's the one that's everyone's investing in right now. It's a minimum of $25,000 and you get your choice from, I think, 4 cryptos there too. Ripple, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin. And it's your choice.
I did my own. You can transfer your 401k that you had in your business and bring it into a self-appointed IRA with your bank, as long as you are the qualified retirement plan, basically they can call it. It's a self-generated IRA that you're in control of, but you're still under certain restrictions from the IRA. You can do property, gold, silver, cryptocurrencies accepted, but then you still.
what bank do you bank with?
SunTrust.
And they allow
They let
that?
me under a money market fund.
Okay.
And I used initially tax liens and tax deeds. I used the money for. Of course, I got out of that and moved into crypto.
Sure.
And so I'm still under that umbrella.
Very cool. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
So you're saying that if I have a big gain and then I put it in a different cryptocurrency, I'm supposed to set money aside for taxes?
That's what Clifford said. I never said that.
I would highly recommend
Because I understand if you sell, but if you reinvest it, and then you switch it to 100 different wallets and it keeps moving.
You change
Right.
that.
But here's the thing about that.
Stocks.
Use the rules for day trading. Because once they do recognize it as a currency, they're probably going to come looking for historicals. So that's where you want to have that.
Could they do that legally? Could they back up?
They're the government. They do all sorts of things. I mean, really.
I don't know. I always see the feeds where IRS is cracking down on crypto, so caution is good.
Safety first. Safety first is what I'm trying to instill in everybody, particularly as they're growing. If you use the current rules for day traders, which is for the transactions, you have to measure that, you have to give a tax fee or whatever for each traditional transaction. Use that principle, you won't get hurt. All right. Now, if you ignore that and go your way, spend everything, they may come, they may not. I'd much rather have you have an umbrella in case it rains than nothing at all in cotton puddle.
That's it. Price goes up to 10,000 and above. You definitely, hold on one second, Clifford. You definitely do see that the IRS is taking notice of what we are doing. Sir?
So I got a quick question for everyone that'll set up my actual question. How many of you guys truly believe that cryptocurrencies will become a reserve currency that people use, becomes a store value? I'm assuming the majority of the room, right, you wouldn't be investing in it, right? So, for example, let's just use Bitcoin because that's the most popular one. If Bitcoin caps out at 21 million total, right? At some point, we're going to experience deflation, not inflation, because there's no more that's being created. Our whole economy, the whole world is built on inflation, right? Fiat currencies. So what happens then? And maybe someone's explored this, but if you switch to new currencies, I'm just ignorant here, to be honest. I'm just curious what your thoughts are. Because I may even go back to economics.
Transfer fees, how
It's
would
not-
it make
Right, but there's more people
Okay,
than in the world.
number
so
one,
it's less, right?
number one, people would more likely shift and abandon a currency and allow it to deflate that way. You
Okay.
only get hurt if you continue to hold on to it.
Yeah.
All right, so if you're somebody that sees that as a potential outcome, be fluid and be flexible.
Yeah,
All
just
right,
curious.
so that's how I would address that. And actually, just had a short conversation with a gentleman saying something similar. So that would be the transaction fees that are become inherent to it. That becomes deterrent to using it. If I have to pay, if you go to an ATM and it's charging you $3, another ATM is only charging you $1.50. Which one are you going to start going to?
But doesn't that defeat the whole purpose of a reserve currency?
Absolutely
Keep
not.
Switching and continuing
No.
switching
No.
and switching and switching.
No.
I don't think it's gonna. I don't think Bitcoin is gonna deflate. I mean,
It's just-
we're currently there's
long way up the line.
right. So there's gonna be 21 million coins ever gonna be mined from the year 2009 to the year 2140. We'll all be gone by 2140.
Exactly.
So you're never gonna see. I mean, I'm sure the market Bitcoin is so fractionalized because I mean. Few people can afford right now, especially $10,000 in a whole Bitcoin. So it's so fractionalized. You're gonna see the number just keep climbing. Sure, it'll stabilize at some point. It'll be. Some people are claiming, $500,000 for the coin. Even nobody like even 2017, we just had this huge rise. It was like 1,700 for a start.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see it stabilize some point. It'll hit a plateau, but I don't think it'll come crashing down.
Right, and that's a potential reality, but there's a potential of deflation. It's a matter of the amount in circulation and how much it's used.
Okay.
If people start hoarding it and not spending it and not circulating it, that outcome is more likely.
Yeah.
If people are actually using it and using it as a currency, your outcome is more likely. But like the gentleman just over here just said, it's going to become utilized only in certain conditions. If you're looking to buy a cup of coffee, you're not going to use a Bitcoin. You're going to use another coin that's for smaller purchases. If you're looking to buy a $20 million yacht, hey, I'll take that. Or I'll take a Ty Cobb rookie card. It's whatever has value to you. So it's going to be whatever the circumstances deem.
It really doesn't matter when you reach the limit because Bitcoin has so many decimals it can be divided into trillions.
Down to 10 to the minus 8 places. It
Right.
can be one Satoshi
Incremental.
becomes a penny. The potential is there, but more likely is something else is going to come up. Just like they were saying the last month, IOTA the Tango could completely replace Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But just like Model Ts, they never completely go away. You get a certain group that uses them, and a Model T is worth more today than it was way back when.
Yeah.
So it's main thing is everything's always shifting, and that change is security.
Sure.
Just a question. What changes do you think are going to occur with Coinbase custody? With the institutional investors coming in, dropping all our money on cryptocurrency, 10 million plus at a time?
I don't know. I think it's going to help us, really, honestly. I mean, we're such early adapters. The people in this room were attracted to cryptocurrency because we're early adapters. I honestly believe that we're in such early stages, even though it was created in 2009, that $10,000 is ridiculously low. It's ridiculously. There's 7 billion people in the world. Not everyone is going to use cryptocurrency, but what if we get 3%? Wow, it's huge. So, sir?
Tap onto this. Do you have CoinMarketCap? I want to show something for
Sure, yeah, you
everyone
want to see
that
it?
they can gauge what was just asked from this page.
You want to come up here?
Sure. So, on CoinMarketCap, it's up near the top. The global market cap right now is 313 billion of a global market. So when you start talking on global senses, 313 billion is not that much.
The military loses that in a day.
So when that number starts turning into the trillions, that's when the herd is showing up.
We're early.
Well, yeah.
Very early, very
The
early.
gentleman just said over there, as far as Coinbase, they just released a document a couple weeks ago. They're gonna allow institutional investors to drop, they have to open, institutional investors are gonna be able to invest in the top 3 currencies, which are their legacy coins, which are Ethereum, Litecoin, and
That's right, yeah, I read
They're gonna
that.
be able to open accounts for $10 million, and Coinbase stated they have $100 billion to be implemented either in December or the first quarter of next year. So, I mean, like we just stated, Bitcoin is definitely undervalued, Litecoin definitely undervalued. So all these are going to be shooting up in the next, couple months.
$100 million hedge fund that's been just diverted by Ripple.
Right.
New York City.
Yeah.
That's going to be paid out just in currency of XRP.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one's that?
It was a guy that came out of Silicon Valley that just raised it. He's already raised 50% of $100 million in like 10 days.
Nice.
And they are not telling who the investors are.
Yeah, they don't.
Well, what are they looking to do? They're investing.
Yeah.
So, anybody else, ma'am?
I've thought about buying Bitcoin since last year, and other Ripple and stuff, but how to buy it? Do I have to go through a broker? Do I?
Bitcoin, most of us use Coinbase in the States. Coinbase.com is who most of us use. It's not who all of us use. Other of us prefer different exchanges. However, Coinbase is actually based in the States, so that's what most of us use. You can't buy some of the smaller coins on there, though. I personally use Bitrex to buy my smaller coins. It's bittrex.com.
Is that where you buy like Ripple and stuff?
Yeah, you buy the smaller coins there, but normally you have to exchange Bitcoin for that, for those coins. So you just use your Coinbase or wherever you're storing your Bitcoin to buy some of that over on this exchange.
So it's just like you're buying stock. You put money in and then you buy it.
Correct.
Okay. Thanks.
Sir?
I kind of had a follow-up question. So, listening all the terms Bitrex and Bitfinex and Coinbase, what really is the difference between an exchange and a wallet, maybe a cloud wallet or a paper wallet or?
Oh, okay. So exchange is where you would buy the cryptocurrencies. A wallet is where you store your crypto.
And do the exchanges offer a wallet system as well? Is that?
Not that I know. No. Wait, do they have wallets themselves? Oh, yes, they do. Like Coinbase has a wallet.
The main thing what you're looking at is an open and a closed exchange. Coinbase would be like a closed exchange. You don't have many offers for different prices to sell a coin. While the other ones you have an open exchange, being your GDAX, your Bitfinex, your Bitrex, and other ones that open markets. You're making offers. Hey, will somebody buy my Bitcoin for less than this price? Will somebody buy my Bitcoin for higher than this price? Or something like that. So you're looking at a comparison between a closed exchange and an open exchange. Now, in both exchanges, you have a wallet. Now, on an exchange, that wallet is generally used just for your transactions on that exchange. When somebody gets hacked and they lost all their money, it's because they kept all their safe money with their play money, and they lose the whole nut. So now if you're on an open exchange, you only keep the money you're playing with. You move out your profits and your gains or whatever you're not comfortable playing with. You don't play with more than you're willing to lose.
It's a little like having like MetaTrader 4 where you will day trade money and then having your Wells Fargo app separately. So it's like you don't put all of your money into that platform you're day trading on. You have it separated.
Even there, you still have multiple wallets from that. Because you might have an issue where I kept $1,000 on my tablet, I lost my tablet completely, I just lost all that money because that's where I kept all my keys, which you shouldn't have done that in the same place anyway. But you spread it around to a couple wallets. So you have it in, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. So as you're starting out, you may use just the wallet on the exchange, but when you're getting profits, I recommend over $1,000 unless you're playing with bigger figures. Move the second $1,000 into somewhere else.
Right. You never know what can happen with an exchange or.
Right.
Yeah, exchanges are iffy, right? So I never keep my Bitcoin on an exchange. I buy my Bitcoin on an exchange and then I put it in a blockchain wallet. So I shift all my Bitcoin out of that exchange because any government can come in and lock down that exchange.
There's numerous platforms.
Blockchain wallet. If you go to blockchain.com where we were in the beginning there.
And that's your private wallet?
That is.
That is.
You'll have multiple wallets between your wallet on your exchange and third-party wallets. And you might have 2, 3, 4, 5 third-party wallets outside of that.
So you can have as many wallets as you want on
That's
the
right.
blockchain, and each one just has a different.
Depends on who you're with, like Coinbase has its own wallet.
Blockchain itself is like a name brand. You can have a Nike shoe, but you can have the Nike Air Force One. You can have the Nike this, you can have the Nike that. That'd be a blockchain. But then you can use Coinami wallet, which is like having Adidas. And then you can have an Exodus wallet, which is like having Pumas. You know, they're different brands for wallets, and even within those, you can have wallets inside of a wallet inside of another wallet.
What do you think about Exodus with the shape shifting? Does that work well?
Now, I was just talking about that. I love shifting. All right. Particularly somebody that's new, you don't have to get into the big hullabaloo on an exchange and put money here, there, and ask for calls and learn a bunch of stuff. When you shapeshift, and you're shapeshifting within a wallet in that case. All right, you can use an app called Shapeshift, and you can also use Chain Jelly. There's a couple ones out there. I like Shapeshift personally. What that does will change from one currency to another without having to be on an exchange. If you wanted Ripple, you could use your Bitcoin through Shapeshift, and then you put it into Shapeshift, and it'll put out Ripple. All right. Now that is something that is a little more complicated and not something we're going to go over in an open forum because there's so many other questions as far as to go. But the idea and concept is there, and it's a lot easier. I try to stick to the simplest, easiest way to go about. It's a 3-step process between getting your address off wherever you keep it, putting it into Shapeshift, getting your address of wherever it's going. And then you go right there. Coinami is great because Coinami allows you to have multiple wallets of different currencies, and you can shapeshift within that one wallet to different currencies. All right. So
Can you just pay somebody to do this for you?
Yes, us.
Absolutely.
Us.
We are available for one-on-one consultation. We can take you from the beginning all the way up through that. And we have plans to make that more formalized and help people. We can hold your hands and give as much time as you need for that.
Yeah, I mentioned in the beginning that we're creating a network, and there's some core group of our individuals here that have put out articles, we put out videos. We're launching our own website called BitcoinCrypto.News. BitcoinCrypto.News. So we'll be sharing that with everybody, and if you are interested in maybe helping us with the development of that, please do. We share revenue with them.
All right, James.
Okay, shapeshift. Is that something that I could use to get into IOTA?
No, IOTA is a different chain and a whole different beast. The Tangle is different from blockchain. All right, so you're not going into the same. It's apples and oranges.
Yes, ma'am.
But they're both cryptocurrencies.
Okay, so I use Coinbase, and how do you increase your limit? Because I've been trying to buy, and it's like ridiculous. And I linked my accounts, everything, and
If you put more than one form of ID, so if you have your driver's license and you add like your passport ID on there, it'll let you do it. It's just like the more secure you can make it, the more
they give you more.
And also,
I set mine up it's super low, and then like I helped my mom, and like hers is like super high.
it's also time.
Same bank.
Really?
It's time and the types of cards. I had Coinbase. I had 3 cards maxed out. I got a new card that I took one off and put it back in. They made me wait 45 days to get my limit pushed back to the 15,000 it was originally.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
You can wire the money.
Well, what Coinbase is doing is, Coinbase essentially is right now is bottlenecking the system. We've got all these institutional investors about to drop billions of dollars, so the limit has gone weekly. I mean, it used to be, like you said, 15,000, whatnot, 10,000, so 500. And right now it's at $300. There's a way you can go about it. Coinbase also owns another exchange called GDAX. It's owned by GDAX. Your same password login, your same email will work on there. I can't stress enough, make sure you 2-factor authenticate every single wallet exchange you have. Don't keep your coins at an exchange. Get a hardware wallet. Keep your coins off the exchange.
And everybody, a lot of stuff going on right now is intermediate to advanced. Don't just jump into that pool, all right? I don't want to see somebody lose their tail or lose their coins or forget something and everything's just gone. Because with all this stuff, once you don't have any access, nobody can get it back for you. There's no master key to unlock this up. So be very, very careful. Yeah. To do it.
To help you, please come to us. We would be.
You gotta come.
Sorry? Can't hear you.
The speeds are lower on GDAX versus Coinbase.
Are they? I didn't know that. Oh, hold on one second. What'd you say, sir?
I had a question about sending money from Coinbase to Bittrex. I keep getting this message that says if you don't send it the right way, you lose your currency. So it has to be.
Well, that scares the heck out of you, doesn't it? Yeah, I did it, and I had that lag time, and then it showed up. So it worked for me and a few other people here. Does anybody have a Bittrex account?
I do. What was the question?
There was a lag between.
He was worried about, the warning that comes up, you can lose your money. Yeah, that's their way out, really.
I personally deposited Bitcoin, so I got lucky in the 15 to 20 minute range, but I hear that Ethereum is a lot faster and can be cheaper to
That I didn't know.
The main thing is, you keep in mind that these websites have their own internal protocols and their own internal software stuff. Hey guys, can we keep it down to too many side conversations? All right. So now, I do particularly see Coinbase bottlenecks. There's some days where somebody has a deposit 3 days before it actually hits their account. And when you're trading from one exchange to another exchange, Coinbase may have some bottleneck on its end, and that could be slowing down on something else. And if the two don't match up at the right time, gets a wrong timestamp, the time to do it times out. There's not always a default where it bumps back to where it came from. Sometimes it just gets caught in the cloud or wherever.
There.
So that's why they had that disclaimer.
That'll make you nervous?
Yeah. So that's another reason why you don't get in this without knowing some particular stuff. All right, gentleman in the purple shirt, you had your hand up.
Does blockchain allow wallets for other cryptos besides Bitcoin?
Ethereum. They just added Ethereum.
That's it?
Right. Now, Coinami will let you have multiple. I have 7 different coins in my Coinami wallet. And it's all in one app, and it's a different wallet for each one.
IOTA too?
IOTA is on a different thing. The Tangle is different from the blockchain.
Totally different.
But they're both cryptocurrencies. They're both cryptographically created and secured, but they work operate in different ways. One's an apple, one's an orange.
And they're very passionate people, by the way. I mean, when you talk to IOTA people and about the Tangle network, they don't want anything to do with the blockchain. They talk bad about it. For me, I see it all as valuable. So I'd like to hear that argument. I hope it causes a fist fight in here one day. So.
Place for everything is place.
I'm guessing we're not going to get into Tangle at all?
We are not. No, we will talk about it. There is a link direct. I highly suggest you go to their IOTA, the website. Check it out. I mean, it really is interesting. At the price of $1.50, can you really beat it? You can't really beat it.
I mean, I believe in blockchain and the technology, and I don't know what's going to...
Tangle, though, is a different animal.
Here's the thing. All right, electric cars are more environmentally friendly and go further, right?
Not necessarily.
Run with me here, okay? All right, it's an analogy, all right? It's an alternative that's better. I'll put my bunny ears, all right? That's better, okay? Does everybody want to get an electric car tomorrow? No. The Tangle could be the better idea, but not everybody's running to it tomorrow. But it could be the wave of the future, because a lot of countries are saying, hey, you can't do this, you have to get that. So Tangle could develop on its own into something else.
I think you'd be seriously silly not to invest in IOTA right now.
It has remarkable potential.
Remarkable.
Its speed, its scalability.
If it's at $1.50 now and it goes to $20 by the end of the next year, definitely go to the website.
Go to the website.
It is some seriously intensive stuff, It really is.
Blockchain has had 9 years to develop and come to an understanding where people can make analogies for it and understand it better. Tangle is different. Tangle is brand new and works a different way. We don't fully have our minds around what it's doing, what its capabilities are. It's still coming up. I think it's a great seed to put $100 in now and let it sit, just to see what happens in the future.
You have to think of IOTA as nano and micro transactions, because that's really what they're based on.
And blockchain will be used for a big transaction, buying a house, a car, a boat, something.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, sir.
If you're a bank, you're playing defense right now. Do you think they're going to adopt these principles and philosophies? Yeah. Down the road?
I'm sorry, say it again?
If you're a bank and you're playing defense right now with the crypto world, do you think eventually they'll adopt
They are adopting it. I mean, they are. They're starting to implement the blockchain into their banking platforms. You know, you can't get away with double spending when it comes to the blockchain. So they are implementing it into their platforms.
Yeah, South Korean bank. So South Korean news just released a document saying that the South Korean bank actually is allowing. They're going to hold wallets, cryptocurrency wallets for the members in South Korea. So, I mean, it's starting to play along.
Right. It's starting to get implemented in their banks, sir.
But as far as banking is concerned, this is sale versus speed. It's inevitable.
It's inevitable, yeah. Inevitable.
Even if they don't accept it, it goes along parallel. You'll have a niche market, and that's basically what Bitcoin has been grown off of. If you know your history, Bitcoin was made by the drug industry. I mean, illicit drugs and illegal activities.
No, it wasn't made by them.
I don't mean made in the sense. I mean made in the sense of popularized, strength, growth, got its recognition, by that. They weren't clever enough to go for making it literally, but it got its name and its development from the illicit drugs and illegal activities.
And now they're using Dash.
And well, that's
yes. Yeah, they
Dash is used for that, but Dash is actually being adopted by the cannabis industry, which is a great move. That's why it doubled in the last 2 weeks. Because there's a problem. Just to get into that one thing, Monero is another one. I didn't want to bring it up while you were talking. Another one that's beginning to be embraced by the cannabis industry. Marijuana is illegal on the federal level. It is legal in the state of Colorado. Banks are proxy federal agents. They can't accept money from drug dealers. So you have people in Colorado walking around with bags of $100,000. What are they supposed to do with it? Just wait to get robbed? They got the bright idea, I'm going to transfer this cash into cryptocurrency. Dash had wide arms and welcomed them gladly. Monero's working on doing something similar. But Dash has been more accepted faster, because I guess they were just quicker on their feet. But my point is, once you find a niche, run to it, embrace it. And that's one of the biggest powers of it, is that cryptocurrencies will always have a niche.
Yeah. So we're gonna kind of taper things down, and we're super excited to announce that we actually are gonna have, starting in January, another meeting, and it's gonna be down south off of Alico at what's called Endeavor. It's also an innovation hub. That's gonna be on January 4th. That's a Thursday.
This will all be on the website.
Correct, yeah, it'll be on the meetup also, our meetup page. So look for us January and November. So I told you a little bit about the core group of us here that are organizing a network for information. We are also reaching out to anybody who wants to learn how to start a wallet or has questions. Clifford here is taking over our educational part. He's doing the videos for our education. Tyler's doing our marketing. Jeremy has been so crucial as our general manager of our organization right now in organizing all of us together. He's also written many articles that are currently up on BitcoinCrypto.News, so please check them out. So we're going to adjourn. If anybody wants to hang out, please do. Also, if you want to meet over at the social house next door, please do.
One quick announcement. If you have not already joined the Bitcoiners of Southwest Florida, Bitcoiners of SWFL Facebook group, or get added to that, so that way you can keep up to date on any changes, any event updates, and information on past meetings, and to talk.
It is a private group, so you just have to hit us and we'll accept you.
SWFL. If you don't find it, you can go ahead and message myself. I'm on there, Clifford Mitchum. You can message Rob Johnson, Jeremy Barnett, Tyler Lelou. All right, so find any of us online, we can get you in that.
If your email address is on that sheet up there, would you be doing a PDF or will we be contacted by it?
Yes, sir, yeah. Yeah, as long as you got your email address there, we'll mail it off to you so you have it.
Make sure it's legible. There were a couple people I tried to add them to the group last week, tried to find them online. If I can't find you, I can't add you.
Yeah.
And I've been the main contributor and administrator on the Facebook group, but I mean, everybody here, we all work as a team. But the main thing is, if you want to contact with us, we got to be able to know who we're talking to, who we're reaching with. And
anybody got any questions?
yeah.
Yes, sir.